What's up, guys? How we doing today? I hope you guys are doing well. I was just out here swanting some gallards. I was swanting them earlier on and come back to do a little bit more swanting, and I figured while I'm here, while I'm starting, I wanted to touch on a subject that I saw, or that I've thought about in the past, but I recently had a good think about it after I watched one of Vast's, well, two of Vast's video today. The Entropia Veteran Reacts to the, can you get rich in Entropia Universe? It was something like that. And one of the topics that got brought up is whether or not, surprisingly enough, not if Entropia Universe is a scam. The topic that was brought up is whether or not Entropia Universe is gambling. Well, I'm going to throw in a couple of cents into this topic because it's a topic that I've thought about quite thoroughly because one of the first people I met in-game, I would consider him as having a gambling problem with Entropia Universe. Now, why do I say that? Because he openly said to me that he throws hundreds and hundreds of dollars in every month. He spent most of his money just hunting, and he kept losing his money, but he kept throwing money in. And when I said to him, well, how about instead of throwing the money in and just using it to hunt, how about with, some of the money or a lot of the money that you're putting in, instead of that, why not throw it into shares and deeds? Because if you're putting in the amount of money that you say that you're putting in, if you put that money towards shares and deeds instead, and maybe focus on doing smaller hunting, well, then you're going to come out with, you're going to have enough shares and enough deeds. I don't think there was any shares at this point. I think it was just Calypso land deeds, Arcadia underground deeds, but because this was a few years back. The same preference applies to the shares as well, but at the time I believe it was just land deeds, and of course you got shops and land area deeds, and I think Compet was just becoming a thing, which turned out to be a horrible thing, but I digress. And I said to him, why don't you do that? Why don't you spend your money getting deeds, and then after you're getting a decent ped flow together, then start hunting. Then start doing it. And this guy that had been doing it for years, absolutely years. And I thought, it's a smart choice doing it that way, but his exact words were, yeah, fuck that. Yeah, fuck that. And I'm like, why? And he's like, because I want to hunt. And I'm like, well, if you're going to hunt, if you're going to be playing the game, and I know he was an older player, but, he'd been playing it longer than me, but as a person who understands the way budgeting should work, the way budgeting works and all that sort of shit, and, spreading your cash across a long amount of time, especially if the amount of cash that you're using is quite a lot. Hearing from a guy that's been playing for a while, turning around saying, yeah, nah, fuck that, I don't want to work on my ped flow, I just want to get that big HOF or that big global, that to me sounded a lot like gambling. And I'm like, okay, that's a bit odd. Do I think the game itself is gambling? Not specifically. There are gambling aspects to the game. I think Vast agrees with me on this one. He said there are gambling aspects to the game, like just throwing your money into explosive projectiles, for instance, or filters or whatever stuff that, crafting stuff. That's a gamble. Hunting and then TTing everything. That's a gamble. Right? That is a gamble. Mining and then TTing everything. That's a gamble. Right? If you play the game like any other game, then yeah, in my opinion, it would be gambling. But for instance, if you're doing like what I'm doing right now, which is swanting, which, you know, sweat hunting, I'm able to, one, extend my playtime. So if I had a limited budget, say like, say I only had like 25 to 30 PED a week to work with, or I just wanted to work off of my ped flow, which is around 10 to 12 PED per week. If I wanted to just work off of my ped flow, then I would be doing more things like this. I would be swanting. But the reason why I say, you know, playing it smart and doing things a certain way is because, like, as any good hunter or good miner or even good crafter knows, you're going after markup. Now, when you go after markup, it's no longer so much of a gamble. It's more of, am I hunting the correct monster? Am I hunting the correct mob? Am I mining at the right depth? Am I doing this, this, and this? Am I doing the right things to ensure I make a profit? Because let's face it, we're making a profit off of other people. When we're playing this game, if we want to make PEDs, we're going to be making it off of other people's misfortune. Or off of other people's needs and wants. You know, like if you're a crafter, you're crafting for, you know, other people's needs. If you're hunting and you're selling things like these gallad hides, right? You know, there's a small demand for them. Not a massive demand, but there's a small demand per month. You're hunting to get those things to then sell to other players who want those things to probably make, I don't know, cool looking clothes, textures for armor, shit like that, right? That's what you're hunting for. You're hunting for that. Or you're hunting for crafters, you're hunting for whatever, right? Same with something like sweating. When you're sweating for other people that are crafting or other people that are making mind essence, right? If you're mining, you're generally mining for crafters. That's the way it works. Supply and demand. So from that perspective, I don't think Entropia Universe is a gamble. It's not gambling. Entropia Universe, in my opinion, is not gambling, but there are elements to the game that you can turn around and say it's a gamble. Right? Going out with 50 PEDs, hunting, wanting to make a profit. If you're just going to be TTing it and you don't know what you're hunting, you don't know what you're hunting or what it drops, then it's going to be a gamble. You're gambling on that bit, right? If you're going out hunting in search for specific materials or specific items, and you know exactly what has it, and you go and hunt that exact thing, then it's less of a gamble and more of an educated hunt, right? You know, if like hunting exosaurs on Calypso. If you're going to be hunting exosaurs on Calypso, you're going after things like the Nova fragments. I think it's the Nova fragments. You're going after them, or the blue ones, I think it is. You're going after them, you're going after components, and you're going to be selling those at a massive markup, right? You're going to be selling those at a massive markup. If you're swanting, you're going to be swanting something that gives a variety of items, right? So like the gallads, they give the standard sort of shrapnel. They also give hide, oil residue, muscle oil, and animal hide. All things that we can sell for a little bit of a markup. So I won't have this as a long-winded video. It's, you know, I don't want it to be this big rant on whether or not, you know, every little individual thing in Entropia Universe is gambling, because in my opinion it's not. But like Vast said in his videos, which I will link to the part 1 and part 2 of Vast's reaction to this other video. So make sure you go and check it out, and drop him a sub, will you? Drop him a sub. He needs more. He needs more. He needs more. So go and do that. But yeah, I don't think it's gambling. There are gambling elements, and it can be a gamble for some people. You just got to be smart about what you're doing. You just got to be smart about things, guys. You just got to be smart about things. And I'm not saying that people that make the choices like the person that I met when I first playing, I'm not saying that he wasn't a smart guy. He knew what he was doing when it came to getting skills and all that sort of stuff. But when it came to the actual, making, like trying to make money and not, or more to the point, trying not to lose money, building up your ped flow and all that sort of stuff, he had no idea what he was doing. No idea. And I've only recently, when I say recently, I mean like maybe over the last 6 months to a year, really looked at, how to increase and maintain ped flow and also hunting for markup, because I never really gave a shit, because I was just playing for fun. I wasn't playing for money or anything like that. I'm still not playing for money. I'm never gonna take money out of this game. Everything that I put into this game, it's staying in the game. Because I want everything to stay in here so that at some point I'll be able to hunt bigger and better things for the fun of it. I'm leveling up my economic status in the game as well as my skills. It's just fun. So I'll never take money out of this game. So with some of the financial stuff of being worried that what if Mindark goes under, I don't care. It's not something that really bothers me. It would be the same thing as if, RuneScape went under, or if, which I think is Jagex, if RuneScape stopped being a thing, if World of Warcraft stopped being a thing, if any of the games that I might have put time and or money into, it's the same thing. If those things go down, then so does that time and effort. Will I be sad and a bit pissed off? Hell yeah, I'll be sad and pissed off. However, it's just one of those things that I'll have to get over. If you are currently making a living off Entropia Universe, though, then I can understand how, if you were to lose stuff, that would get to you. But that's for a completely different video. I will be making a video at some point in the future on increasing ped flow, increasing your economic status within the game without putting money into the game, if you don't want to. There's little bits and bobs that I'm going to be doing over the next couple of weeks to, help people that might want to experiment and explore the concept without, basically without, what's the term? Yeah, without depositing. They want to explore the aspect of building something within the game without putting anything into the game, just putting in time and effort. But once again, that's for a different video. So to conclude, it's not gambling, but I do believe there are bits in the game that could be perceived as gambling. But the game itself is not gambling. It's like fishing. If you know what you're doing, you're going to go to the right spot and catch some fish. If you don't know what you're doing, you're probably not going to catch any fish. You might catch the occasional fish, but you're not going to catch any fish. That's my analogy. I like to fish. If you know what you're doing, you're going to catch some fish. If you don't know what you're doing, you're probably not going to catch any fish. That's the analogy that I'm keeping, and that's the analogy that I'm going with. Anyway, guys, that's enough time talking about this one little subject. It's not a little subject, it's a big subject, but I feel there's nothing else that I need to touch on. I think I've said everything that I wanted to say. But yeah, go and check out Vast. Go and sub to him. Go and check out his videos, because the videos that he did, because he does go over a few key things in regards to a video that was made about whether or not you can make it rich in Entropia Universe. Now that's a gamble. Will you get rich in Entropia Universe? That's a big gamble. That's a gamble. Anyway, you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.